Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's episode of Morte DArthur. Apologies for the late start. I'll be honest, I had a lens stuck on my camera and was trying to get it off. It was being a pain in the backside. It's off now, which is the good news. That's sorted, albeit a little bit shaky. Not lens, a filter stuck on the lens. Anyway, we're here now is the important thing, and are ready to rock and roll into tonight's show, where we're going to find out just how Sir Palomides will avenge the death of King Hermance, who was killed by his jealous brothers. No good thing having jealous brothers, ladies and gents. I can see, by the way, that we've had some folk come in. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Amanda. Come in. Hello, Charlie. Welcome. I was worried. The time just slipped, and I looked up at the clock, realised what time it was, and ran back. But this little bugger was stuck. Which lens was it? It was stuck on this lens. That other lens. It was stuck on that one. It's off now. It's off. Yeah, I'm sure. It's all good. Clean it up. I was hoping to go out and do lots of nice photography this weekend, guys, but it's going to rain all weekend. No, there are stories on Friday, Dawn. Don't worry, there are definitely stories on Friday. It's just Simon lost track of time on this one. And at the end of all of that, the weather forecast for tomorrow is miserable. So I'm not even sure if I will be leaving the house to take photos. But you never know. You never know. I might be able to leave. Weather BBC. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed for it to not be raining all weekend. Which I know. And I'm sure that you guys are very, very determined that it shouldn't rain all weekend. But it looks like it might. So we'll see. We'll see where we get to. Anyway, enough about that, ladies and gents. Shall we get into tonight's show? When we left last night, King Hermance had been slain by his jealous brothers. My voice, I haven't done that. I don't speak like this at work, and so my voice isn't quite used to that kind of projecting, and now I'm feeling last night's Loki's quarrel scratching at my throat. But tonight, ladies and gents, in possibly a lower voice, maybe a little bit of a lower voice, so that I don't have to go scratching my damaged throat. Tonight, ladies and gents, we shall get into the show and look at exactly just what happens to that good old King Hermance, who's been killed by his brothers and avenged, hopefully, by Sir Palomides. Sir Palomides has just discovered how King Hermance, who was a noble and brave king who loved all the people of his realm and was fair and just, was slain. And Sir Palomides has been asked to go and protect him. Ladies and gents, trying to find the vocal cords that aren't damaged here. I'm going to, in between shows, I'm just going to drink a load of honey now. I should just be drinking honey non-stop. Ladies and gents, let's get into tonight's show. And so we continue with the tale that King Hermance wrote just before his death. And it ends thus. Yesterday was awesome, Rabbith. It was awesome from a storytelling perspective. It was awesome from a fun perspective. It was not awesome from the throat perspective. So, thank you. It's okay. We'll take a time out in between shows and make sure it's tended to. This is a problem. I talk like this quite normally during the course of the day, and then the evening comes along and this comes out. Good Lord. Anyway, let's go. Recommending and to King Arthur, and to all his knights-errants. I, King Hermance, king of the Red City, beseech them to aid me. For if they read this, then I am slain by felony and treason through 2 knights of my own bringing up and my own kin. And I hope that some worshipful knight will revenge my death, insomuch I have been ever to my power well willing unto King Arthur's court. And who that will adventure his life with these 2 traitors for my sake in one battle, I, King Hermance, king of this city, will freely give him all my lands and rents that ever I welded in my life. Just want to make that clear, ladies and gents. I'm just going to say that line again. You did miss a show, but this is important now, Queen, and it's good that you're here. No, the glossary doesn't cover it, but the line there. Can I just clarify this? The line here is I, King Hermance, king of the Red City, freely give him all my lands and rents. All my lands and rents. Now, it wasn't so long ago, ladies and gents, that we came across that wonderful, the beautiful Alice Pilgrim. And Alice Pilgrim said that she had great rents, and at the time I translated rents to mean assets. And it turned out that at the time we thought that I had mistranslated rents as assets, and that rents was in fact a shortening of parents, because we couldn't find rents to appear in any Middle English dictionary. Well, ladies and gents, now King Hermance has used rents again. I've got 2 references to rents. Rents, as far as I am now concerned, clearly means assets. I'm still going to publicly perform for you guys and hold up my end of the penance, but the beautiful Alice had great assets, and King Hermance also had great assets. Tonight is the night that we prove there are great assets in Britain. Yes! Oh, good. After the show, I'm going to do a little victory dance in the corner of the room because of Alice's wonderful assets. Anyway, good. For those of you who weren't there for the episode with Alice's wonderful assets, I'll stick it up on the website over the weekend so you can all admire the wonderful assets that she definitely had. No, your assets are what you rent out. You're not renting out your assets. Your assets are... Yeah, you're renting out the assets. Yes. King Hermance is renting out his assets, just as the beautiful Alice Pilgrim was. And with enough of that, well, some of us rent out our assets, Dawn, and if you're like me, you rent other people's assets. Yes, I am a renter of assets. King Hermance rents them out. It's going to be one of those shows, ladies and gents. Anyway, this letter, said his chamberlain, I wrote by my Lord's commandment, and then he died. And when he was dead, he commanded me, or ever he were called, to put that letter fast in his hand. And then he commanded me to put forth his boat with his dead body and his letter down the river Humber, and I should give the mariners in commandment a command never to stint until they came to Logris, where all the noble knights were assembled at that time. And there shall some good knight have pity on me to revenge my death, he had thought. For there was never a king nor lord falselier nor more traitorly slain than he was in his death. Thus was the complaint of our king Hermance. Now, said Sir Eberl, you all know how our Lord was betrayed. We require you now, for God's sake, to have pity upon his death, and worshipfully revenge his death. Then may you wield all of these lands, for we all know well that you might slay those 2 traitors, and when you do so, the Red City and all those who are therein will take you to be their lord. Truly, said Palomides, it grieves my heart to hear you tell this doleful tale, and to say the truth, I saw the same letter that you spoke of, and one of the best knights on the red earth read that letter to me, and by his commandment I came here to revenge your king's death. And therefore I have done, and let me know where I shall find those traitors, for I shall never be at ease in my heart until I am in hands with them. Sir, said Eberl, then take your ship again, and that ship must bring you to the delectable isle fast by the Red City, and we in this castle shall pray for you, and abide your again coming. For this same castle, that you speed well, must needs be yours. For our King Hermance let make this castle for the love of the 2 traitors, and so we keep it with strong hand. Therefore, full sore are we threated. Know you we shall do? Said Sir Palomides. Whatsoever come of me, look you well into this castle, for it's a misfortune for me to so be slain in my quest, but I am sure that there will come one of the best knights of the world to revenge my death, and that is Sir Tristram de Lyon, or else Sir Lancelot the Lake. Then Sir Palomides departed from that castle, and as he came to the city, there came out of a ship a good knight, who was armed against him with his shield on his shoulder, and his hand on his sword. Anon, as he came nigh Sir Palomides, he said, Sir Knight, what do you seek here? Leave this quest, for it is mine, and mine it was or ever it was yours, and therefore I will have it. Sir Knight, said Palomides, it may well be that this quest was yours, or it was mine, but when the letter was taken out of the dead king's hand at that time, by likelihood, there was no knight who had undertaken to revenge the death of this king, and so at that time I promised to revenge his death, and so I shall, or else I am ashamed. You say well, said the knight, but know you well then, I will fight with you, and whoever is the better knight of us both, let him take the battle upon hand. I agree, said Sir Palomides. And then they dressed their shields and pulled out their swords, and they lashed together many sad strokes as men of might. And the fighting between them took place for more than an hour, but at the last Sir Palomides waxed big and better winded, so that he smote that knight such a stroke that he made him kneel upon his knees. Then that knight spoke on high, and he said, "Gentle knight, hold thy hand." And Sir Palomides was goodly, and he withdrew his hand. And then this knight said, "Know you well, knight, you are better worthy to have this battle than I, and I require you of your knighthood. Tell me your name." "Sir, my name is Palomides, and I am a knight of King Arthur's and of the Table Round, and here I have come to avenge the death of this dead king." Halfway through tonight's tale, ladies and gents, it feels weird doing this at such a low voice, because I want my hand gestures to still be here. My hands are fine. So you've got, hopefully my eyes are expressive, hopefully my face is expressive, hopefully even the swaying of the hands is expressive. But the voice, bless the voice, and thank you Beth, thank you Dawn, the voice is staying low. If nobody minds, after this we won't do an episode of Poetry Live tonight. I will let my voice recover before we can do Poetry Live next week. Taz, do you remember last night when we went and did the Quarrel of Loki in the Poetic Edda? And I went and put on a very sinister voice. Yes, yesterday, Taz. My voice has been fine at work, because at work I talk like this. And I'm quite nice and calm. And then I come on to do the show, and all of a sudden exclaiming and doing all the excitement and loudness that I love and that you guys are used to. And my voice just said, hang on. Looks like you may have scratched yourself a little bit here, Mr. King. We require some love and attention before we get back in action. Don't worry, Taz, it's not the first time it's happened doing silly voices. Silly Voices has a habit of doing this. Well, I'm glad. I will do it again, Taz. I'm glad. But I was meant to have a lot of honey today, and I didn't have any honey at all. So I know that when Axl Rose used to, well, he still isn't Guns N' Roses technically, but I remember reading interviews with Axl when he was touring with Guns N' Roses, sort of at the end of the 80s, 91, 92, Use Your Illusion tour. And he was saying that for the shrieking that he'd have to do on songs like Welcome to the Jungle, he had to drink a voracious amount of honey before and after the shows to look after his vocal cords. So what I need to do is go on Here Today, Gone to Hell, find the interviews in Kerrang from like 1989 when Axl Rose was talking about his voice routine and copy them. That's what I did. But instead of revising for my GCSEs, I read every single interview with Axl Rose and the members of Guns N' Roses ever written. I read every single article and interview that was ever done with them, and I knew everything there was to know, including Axl's routine. Anyway, let's do the second half of tonight's show, ladies and gents. "Well," said the knight, "who found Sir Palomides?" I'll try to, but I try to keep one finger on the text so I don't lose my place. One hand for gestures. "Of all the knights that be alive, except 3, I believe you to be the strongest," that knight said. "The first knight is Sir Lancelot the Lake, then Sir Tristram de Lyon. The third is my cousin, Sir Lamorak de Galis. And I am a brother unto the King Hermance that is dead, and my name is Sir Hermance." "You say well," said Sir Palomides, "and you shall see how I shall speed. But if I am slain, then you must go to my lord Sir Lancelot, or else to my lord Sir Tristram, and pray them to revenge my death. For, as for Sir Lamorak, you shall never see him again in this world. Alas, said Sir Hermance, how may that be so? He is slain, said Sir Palomides, by Sir Gawaine and his brethren. So God help me, said Sir Hermance. There was not one for one that slew him. That is true, said Sir Palomides, for they were 4 dangerous knights who slew him. There were Sir Gawaine, Sir Agravaine, Sir Gareth, and Sir Mordred. But Sir Gareth, the 5th brother, was away the best knight of them all, and he did not participate, for his honour was too great. And so Sir Palomides told Hermance all the manner of how those men slew Sir Lamorak, all only by treason. And so Sir Palomides took his ship, and arrived up at the Delectable Isle. And in the meanwhile, Sir Hermance, who was the king's brother, he arrived at the Red City, and there he told them how there was come a knight of King Arthur's to avenge King Hermance's death. And his name, as he told them, was Sir Palomides the good knight, and for the most part he followed the beast Galatisant, or the questing beast, as you and I know it. Then all the city made great joy, for mickle had they heard of Sir Palomides, and of his noble prowess. And so they let ordain a messenger, and sent unto the 2 brethren, and bade them to make themselves ready, for there was a knight come who would fight with them both. So the messenger went unto them, and there they were at a castle beside, and he told them how there was a knight come of King Arthur's court. Hello, Christian! To fight them both at once. He is welcome, said they. But tell us, we pray you, if it is Sir Lancelot or any of his blood. He is not of that blood, said the messenger. Then we care the less, said the 2 brethren, for with none of the blood of Sir Lancelot we keep not to have ado with. Know you well, said the messenger, thank you, Chris, that his name is Sir Palomides, who is yet unchristened a noble knight. Well, said they, if he is now unchristened, he shall never be christened. And so they appointed to be at the city within 2 days. And when Sir Palomides came to the city, they made passing great joy of him. And then they beheld him, and saw that he was well made, cleanly and large, and unmaimed in his limbs, and neither too young nor too old. And so all the people praised him. And though he was not christened, yet he believed in the best manner, and he was full faithful and true of his promise, and well conditioned. And by cause he made his vow that he would never be christened unto the time that he had achieved the beast Galatisant, the which was a full wonderful beast, and a great signification. For Merlin had prophesied much of the beast. And also Sir Palomides avowed never to take full Christendom unto the day that he had done 7 battles within the lists. So, within the 3rd day there, he came to the city with these 2 brethren, the one who was called Helius, the other Helic. And they were both men of great prowess. However, they were false and full of treason. And they were poor men, born yet, who were noble knights of their hands. And with them they brought 40 knights to the intent that they should be big enough for the Red City. And thus came the two brethren with great bobbance and pride, for they had put the Red City in fear and damage. And then they were brought to the lists, and Sir Palomides, he came into the place, and he said thus: Are there here two brethren, Helias and Helake, who slew the king and lord Sir Hermance by felony and treason? And if so, they should know that I am come here to revenge his death. Know you well, said Helias and Helake, that we are the same knights who slew King Hermance, and know you well, Sir Palomides, Saracen, that we shall handle you, or else depart, and you should wish that you were christened. It might well be so, said Sir Palomides, for yet I would not die before I were christened, and yet I am not afraid of you both, but I trust to God that I shall die a better Christian man than any of you both. And doubt you not, said Sir Palomides, either you or I shall be left dead in this place. There we have it, ladies and gents, an end to tonight's tale. Pardon me, for those of you like Chris, who came in gently tense, Dawn, gently tense. So I must apologise first for people like Chris who came in and I'm experiencing some quiet. My voice is slightly going. Well, no, my voice isn't going, but if I strain it, my voice will go, so I'm being gentle with my voice tonight. But yes, it is getting tense. Sir Palomides has travelled across the land of the Red King to find out just who has successfully killed King Hermance. He has now come across the two brothers who have slain the king and challenged them to a fight they have accepted. Only one man will leave the battlefield. Oh no, my campfire voice is much larger than this, Rabbit. But on Monday, ladies and gents, when we reconvene on Monday, we shall find out just who leaves the battlefield. Will it be the brothers, or will it be Sir Palomides? Has Sir Palomides finally met his death? All will be revealed in tomorrow night's, not tomorrow night, it's a Friday, on Monday night's show, ladies and gents. And by then, my voice will be back in tip-top shape. So I would just like to say then a massive thank you to all those of you who came. Please do, Dawn. I've uploaded a stack of them already, and I'm going to go and upload more over the course of the weekend. So all of them are in one place, and you can easily find your way around. Fingers crossed. Thank you. Did you, Dawn? I am glad you enjoyed. I should do some more. I will do some more Fogwell. I haven't had time to work on it recently, but I will continue with the Fogwell. I've meant to come back to it for some time. I think March now, realistically. Well, thank you, Dawn. That means an awful lot to me. Fogwell shall return. Fogwell's Island shall return in March, fingers crossed. And that will be a great joy to share with you all. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you all of you who came tonight. Thank you for your lovely and kind comments and words. No smiting until Monday, Taz. None indeed. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Dawn and Black Rabbit. Thank you, Reem and Taz. Beth and Willow. And thank you, Christian. I will keep my camera out of the rain, Dawn. I think I might subject myself to the rain, but that's what rain covers are for. As long as I can get a bit of dryness, I think I might chance it. At the moment, 4 o'clock might be a good time to get outside tomorrow, so who knows, it might happen. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gents. Thank you for coming tonight. I'll see you all again on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.